Joining us now is Hilary Fordwich, royal commentator and global consultant, business consultant. Okay, first of all, are you surprised by all the excitement about King Charles? He's not the most popular royal by a long shot.
Correct.
And yet, as you said, your daughter told you, the bunting's everywhere, the flags are everywhere. People are camping out, not just overnight, but like for several nights.
Yes.
So they have a good place in line.
Well, pleasure to be back with you again, Elizabeth. And a few things here, yes. Actually, the most appropriate thing for this is what Princess Anne said to a Canadian network. She actually summed it up beautifully. She said it's about continuity. The monarchy is about continuity, stability, and doing good. And being British and part of the Commonwealth, and look at the American spirit, we're covering it tonight in all the networks. I will say that this is across the globe. It's a global experience and it's part of history. That's what it is. And I think it's a way of bringing people together, the majestic mosaic of mankind, just like we saw for the Queen's funeral.
It's part of history. There will be more than 100 heads of state there,
Correct.
2,000 VIP guests there. There will be 11,500 police officers working there.
You know your
It's a big deal. It's a very, very big deal.
You're correct.
But even though he's the King of England and one of the wealthiest men in England, he's got family headaches like any other person. He's got a scandalous brother. He has an estranged son. He has a second wife who is still not doing well in the popularity poll that they take over in England, and has lived long in the shadow of Princess Diana. But let's start with Harry.
Okay,
and his decision to come alone and to only come for, blink if you miss it, a couple of hours at most.
Yes, he will. He'll be only coming for that. And when you mentioned all the things about the family, so it's a normal family, like the rest of us, right?
Right.
No,
A dysfunctional family.
A dysfunctional, but I think that he's coped with it very, very well. And I think they've made some right decisions along the way. For example, Prince Andrew is not out front. They've changed the rules. Now, usually everything...
He will have no official role.
No, that's exactly, yes, that's exactly correct. He will have no official role. I think what's very clever, like the Queen, when the Queen decided no senior royals on the balcony, that eliminated immediately Prince Andrew and Harry. This coronation, we're going to see some things which stick to tradition, but where there are difficulties, and as you so aptly mentioned, Elizabeth, scandals, they're managing to tastefully eliminate them. So the only person that will pay homage to the King will be Prince William. Previously, it would have been all the dukes. It has been throughout history.
Right.
So only Prince William. Now, I will say that the other part will be by Prince George, little Prince George, Prince William's son. He will be carrying the robe as well and escorting his grandfather.
So what do you make of the fact that Harry has decided to come alone and will play no role and be seated in row 10?
Right. I will actually quote one of the Netflix executives, a source there, who said that they wanted him. He had to go to the coronation because he has to remain relevant and part of the royal family. Don't forget, they're trading on that royal name. And I will now quote a British MP, Bob Seeley. He has introduced a bill to remove them of their Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles. Because you know what he says, Elizabeth? Very clever. He says it's unacceptable to trade and trash. They're trading on their names while trashing the royal family. You can't have it both ways.
What is the sentiment across the pond toward Harry and Meghan
Ghastly,
at this point?
absolutely ghastly.
Really?
And what I would say across the world, and first of all, it's the polls that say it. This is not my personal opinion. Nothing personal here. These are the polls that reflected this. Decent people dislike dishonesty. And if you can find me anybody who would be glad that their family member threw them under the bus, that would be very different. But most people would not want that done to them.
Is this going to be hard for King Charles to have one of his sons that he loves and is still so estranged and still causing such damage?
Yeah, of course it's hard, but I think he's coped with it very well. I think that what you'll see is proprietary on the day. I think that they'll be poker-faced. I think, hopefully, Prince Harry will behave himself. Now, there are those that have speculated that they're going to pull some kind of trick. There'll be something released or something done. But let's hope that yes, I'm with you. I'm with you on this. I hope it won't. I hope it will be King Charles's day.
It's King Charles's day.
Yes.
It's historic. It's
the most important event in his life.
It's the most important event in his life.
Correct.
It should be about him.
Yes.
And let's hope the dysfunctional family stuff just all goes to the side.
Makes it interesting, though. If it was completely perfect and normal and bored, we'd all be bored.
Okay, I guess that's one way to look at it.
Yes,
Hilary, great
exciting.
to talk to you. Glad to have you on the set tonight.
Absolutely, pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.